My alarm is buzzing and I hit it without opening my eyes. 6 more minutes. The bed is warm. The room smells like nothing, like clean sheets and the tiny hum of the heater in the corner. I roll over. I do not want to get up. Something is wrong with the mattress. It's not a mattress, it's hard, and it's covered in something rough, and it smells like smoke and animal fat and wet wool. I open my eyes and there is no ceiling. There is a roof made of black timber beams and above them, thatch and threads of gray smoke crawling along the underside of it like it's looking for a way out. I sit up too fast and my head cracks against something low and wooden pain blooms behind my eyes. I grab my head and my hand doesn't feel right. It's rougher, bigger. There's a thick ring of metal on one finger that wasn't there an hour ago. When I fell asleep in my own bed, in my own life, I look down at myself. I'm wearing a long wool tunic, dark red, belted with leather, and under it trousers wrapped tight at the shin with more leather. My boots are sitting a foot away. Made of some kind of hide, stiff with cold, my hands are covered in small white scars I don't recognize. My arms are thicker than they should be. This is not my body, or it is my body now, and I don't know what that means yet. The room is long, low, and dark, lit only by a fire pit sunk into the dirt floor in the middle of it. Smoke rises straight up toward a hole in the roof, most of it missing the hole entirely, and hanging in a flat gray layer above my head. Along both walls, there are wide wooden platforms covered in furs, and on them, people, sleeping shapes, breathing shapes. A dog lifts its head near the fire, looks at me, and puts its head back down like I'm nothing new. I'm freezing, not chilly, freezing, the kind that gets into your teeth. My breath is a visible cloud even inside. I pull a fur off the platform and wrap it around my shoulders, and someone near the fire laughs low and sleepy and says something I don't understand. Not a different language exactly. A wall sound with no doors in it. I need to figure out where the door is before I figure out anything else. I find it by feel a low wooden frame at the end of the long room, and I duck through it into full daylight, and it is the kind of cold that makes your eyes water instantly. Snow everywhere, packed hard in gray-white. Snow on the roofs of 6 or 7 other long, low buildings scattered around a cleared space. Snow drifted against fences made of woven branches. Smoke rises from every roof. Somewhere close, an axe is hitting wood in a steady rhythm, and somewhere further off, someone is shouting instructions I can't parse, and closer still, a woman is walking toward the well with 2 buckets on a pole across her shoulders. And she looks at me standing barefoot in the doorway and stops. She says something short, a question, by the shape of it. I say out loud in English, I don't know where I am, and my voice comes out lower than my own voice. Rougher, like it belongs to someone who yells over wind a lot. She doesn't understand a word of it. Of course she doesn't, but she understands the tone. She understands a person standing in a doorway barefoot in the snow, confused, shaking. She sets the buckets down, grabs a second pair of boots from just inside the door, and shoves them at my chest without ceremony. I put them on, they fit. That's the first thing that goes right. She waves for me to follow her, back inside, back to the fire, and she's talking the whole time, not slowly, not simplified, just talking the way you'd talk to someone whose hearing you assume works fine, and none of it lands. I catch the rhythm of a name repeated twice. Maybe hers, maybe someone else's. And I nod like that means something. Food gets pushed toward me. A flat, hard piece of bread and a bowl of something warm with fish in it. And I'm hungry in a way I have never once been hungry in my real life. Hungry down in my knees, and I eat too fast and burn my tongue and don't care. An older man walks in while I'm eating, takes one look at me and says something sharp to the woman. She answers back calm and gestures at me the way you gesture at a stray animal you found and decided to feed before deciding anything else about it. He doesn't look convinced. He looks at my hands. Then he grabs my wrist, turns it over, looks at the scars there like he's reading them, and grunts something that could mean anything. I realize, sitting there with fish stew on my chin, that I have absolutely no idea how to be useful here. And usefulness is clearly the entry fee. The rest of the morning is a blur of being handed things and failing at them politely. Someone hands me a knife and a chunk of wood and mimes carving, and I make something that looks less like a spoon and more like a mistake. And the boy next to me, maybe 10 years old, laughs so hard he falls off the bench, and honestly, fair. Someone else hands me a length of rope and expects me to know a knot, any knot, and I tie something that would embarrass a Boy Scout, and he takes it back without a word and redoes it in 4 seconds. Outside, The axe rhythm is still going, and I follow the sound because it's the one thing in this entire place that feels almost familiar. A big man is splitting logs at a stump, and he sees me watching, and instead of ignoring me, he hands me the axe, handle first, like a challenge or a test, or just a chance to get rid of an awkward guest. I have split maybe 4 logs in my entire life. At a summer camp, badly. I set the log up, I swing. I miss the center by a mile, and the axe glances off the side and buries itself in the stump, and I nearly take my own foot off, pulling it back out. The big man doesn't laugh. He just walks over, resets my grip on the handle, lower than I had it, moves my back foot 2 inches, and steps away again. Second swing, it splits clean, and something about the crack of it, the log falling into 2 neat halves, is the single most satisfying thing I've felt all morning. He grunts. It might be the Viking equivalent of, "Not bad, I'll take it." By midday, word has clearly spread that there's a strange man in the settlement who doesn't speak, doesn't know any knots, and can't carve a spoon, because people are starting to watch me the way you watch weather that might turn bad. A group of 3 men near the fence are talking low, glancing over, and I don't need to understand the words to understand the shape of that conversation. It's the shape of what do we do with him? I get pulled aside by the woman from this morning. The one who fed me. She's found someone, a girl, teenage, who apparently understands a little more than most, and the girl tries some words on me slowly, one at a time, pointing at things. Fire. She points at the fire and says a word. I say it back. She nods, delighted, like I've done something remarkable, which by the standard of this morning I have. We do this for an hour. Fire, water, bread, snow, cold. I'm building a 5-word vocabulary like it's the only thing standing between me and being thrown out into a Norwegian winter, because it might genuinely be exactly that. In the afternoon, the tone shifts. Someone runs in from outside shouting, and the whole hall goes from calm to moving in about 2 seconds. Men grabbing spears off the wall, the older man from this morning barking orders, the dog barking at the door. I don't know what's happening, and nobody has time to explain it to the confused stranger. The big man from the woodpile grabs my arm, pulls me toward the wall where the spears are, and shoves the plainest one into my hands. I have never held a spear in my life. I have absolutely no idea what I'm supposed to do with it beyond point the sharp end away from myself, which it turns out is exactly what he wants me to do. Stand here, hold this. Look like you might use it. I am, in this exact moment, providing 0 actual defensive value and 100% moral support to a group of people bracing for something I can't name. It turns out to be nothing or nearly nothing. A dispute, some other group's boat drifting too close to the shoreline, voices raised, spears lowered again within 10 minutes, tension draining out of the whole yard like someone pulled a plug. But for those 10 minutes, standing shoulder to shoulder with people who this morning weren't sure what to do with me, I wasn't the stranger being tolerated. I was just another spear in the line. The big man looks at me afterward. At the spear still gripped too tight in my hands, and for the first time all day, something in his face isn't wary. It's closer to approval. That night, back at the fire, the girl teaches me 3 more words. The older man, the one who checked my scars this morning, sits down across the fire from me without being asked, and hands me a small carved piece, a comb and gestures for me to try. I carve badly again, but less badly than the spoon, and he takes it, turns it over, and instead of handing it back for another try, he keeps it, just sets it in his own lap, like it's his now. I don't know what that means here, but I think it might mean something like being let in. The dog wanders over and puts its head on my knee, and somewhere down the row of sleeping platforms, someone is laughing at a story I can't follow a word of, and I find myself laughing too, at nothing. Just at the sound of people being warmed together in the middle of an unbearable cold. I lie back on the fur, exhausted in a way that has nothing to do with sleep debt and everything to do with a full day of being useless and then slightly less useless. The smoke still hangs flat under the roof. The fire still cracks and pops in the pit. Somewhere outside, the wind is doing something to the walls that makes them groan. My alarm is buzzing, and I hit it without opening my eyes. 6 more minutes, the bed is warm. And for one long, strange moment, before I open my eyes, I'm not sure which morning I actually want to wake up into.